What is going on, guys? This is the Davis Sports Feud. I'm Kyle Davis, and I'm joined by my normal co-host, Tyler Wonke and T-Bone. How we doing, guys?
Oh, you know.
We're great.
I should have thought about my answer before.
Yeah, that was a good answer. I appreciate that. Good start to this podcast, guys. Happy Tuesday to everybody. And as always, you can catch the Davis Sports Feud on Spotify and everywhere you can catch podcasts. Also on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. We will be working a little bit more, and I'm doing a lot on Twitter now.
Maybe TikTok. We got a TikTok posted now.
We have a TikTok posted by our very own T-Bone.
I don't think we have any views, but we have a TikTok.
We might have one or two views.
It's coming soon. I will be using my drone to capture T-Bone dancing to Justin Bieber's newest
song. I'm in. I'll be the TikTok kid.
TikTok guy is totally fine. You're going to see a whole lot of clips. It'll be great. Good content.
3 views. 3 views.
3 views.
Let's go.
Look at that. We've almost got more views than our the podcast gets.
Let's go. We're great. This is great.
So if you can read it, you can read the title of the episode. We're doing the AFC North Preview. We all have different opinions on who's going to win this division, and we all agree that the team that came in last place is still dog shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bengals fans. I mean, I know there's a couple of you out there, but
yeah, actually, I think I know like 2 or 3 that went to Greenfield. Ironically enough.
I know one.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick question off the top that doesn't have anything to do with, well, it does, the division. Who do you guys think is going to be the best fantasy player out of the AFC North? Is it going to be Najee Harris? Is it going to be Chubb?
I mean,
Lamar?
Running backs and wide receivers are going to be your best players. Who's the best running back in the division? It's
I don't know. Quarterbacks put up a lot of points. They just don't get drafted until like the 3rd round.
If you're in a smart draft.
Very true.
I mean, like, which one of those quarterbacks? I'm not taking any of those quarterbacks as like my number 1 pick. I don't want Benny.
No, I'm saying the first one off the board. I'm saying the first one off the board.
Yeah, well, okay. First
because McCaffrey's going to go first in most.
No, but first off the board and highest point score, Mahomes leads fantasy in point score, but he's never the first pick.
But we're talking about
he's usually like a 3rd round pick.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Just because he's the highest, I would say probably Lamar Jackson is going to score the highest, but I would take Nick Chubb before I took him.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying just in general, or like if this was a draft strategy?
If you're drafting and you have, let's say, the 10th overall pick, would you pick anybody out of this division? Or do you think anybody would have gone 1 through 10?
If Nick Chubb is there, yeah.
Okay. I would agree. I think Nick Chubb is going to put up a lot of points this year because I don't think Kareem Hunt is all that, even though they trade off touches, but Nick Chubb is so much better.
I mean, there was the stretch last year that they both would Kareem Hunt would rush for 80 yards, have 60 receiving and a touchdown, and Chubb would have 200 yards rushing. They're both very viable for 6 or 7 weeks.
So kind of like when Latavius Murray was on the Vikings, he was good for goal line stances.
Yeah.
And then
he was the same thing with the Saints too.
Yeah.
I think obviously Chubb is the top pick, but if you got Kareem Hunt, he was your 3rd running back. I don't think you're upset about that.
No, I'm not either, especially if Chubb goes down.
Yeah. At least you have two capable running backs. Joe Mixon isn't something to sneeze at either because he's a good viable running back.
I think the best offense is doing anything this year.
Very true.
And plus, he's running behind the worst offensive line in the division, by far.
I thought they could have addressed that in the draft or something.
You think? Penny Sewell sitting right there.
Right.
Rashawn Slater sitting right there.
Jamar Chase.
And then we have 2 top-end rookies in this division with Najee Harris and Jamar Chase. I think both who will contribute almost immediately to both of their teams. But let's get into the teams. The Cincinnati Bengals ended the season 4-11-1 last year. They ranked 29th in points scored and 22nd in points allowed. Both offense and defense was god-awful. All of their team grades overall were 26th in the league. Joe Burrow went down with, was it an ACL?
ACL and MCL.
Oh, it was the double whammy. So, I mean, he was putting up good numbers. They have Joe Mixon. They have a good foundation, but they have no offensive line still. And did they address it in the draft? A little bit towards the later rounds, but like Tyler said, you had Penei Sewell sitting there, and you don't take him. Granted, you gave Joe Burrow a hell of a weapon, but he had T. Higgins. He had
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
Do you think if it's not Jamar Chase, his former teammate, they don't take him?
I honestly think they took Jamar Chase because Burrow was like championing for Jamar Chase so much. Plus, like he's been, supposedly this like generational talent at wide receiver, which I don't know if I necessarily believed. I mean, I'd be saying it differently if he fell to the Eagles, but
nah, the Eagles were so dead set on Devontae Smith. I think they would have taken Devontae Smith.
No, they weren't. They wanted a receiver, and they were. If Jamar Chase fell to them, they would have taken him over Smith easily.
He was never going to fall that far. He would have fallen maybe 2 more picks. Somebody was going to grab him.
Well, maybe if the Eagles didn't trade down like a bunch of idiots, like we may have just been able to get right below the Bengals, and if the Bengals were smart, we could have got Chase.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's see what we came up with for a banner on this one. It says, "Do the Bengals chase the division or burrow in a hole?"
I think
that's mine.
That's good. I think they're as long as Burrow stays healthy, he gives them a shot to like compete. Like, what was their win total last year?
4-11.
4 wins. They had 4 wins, 11 losses, and a tie.
I didn't pull up the win totals this year because I got here.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
I think I could see them getting 5 or 6 without looking at their schedule. Just like based on Mixon isn't bad, like we said. If Burrow comes back relatively healthy, they have decent options at wide receiver. Young, but decent. Like, if you can keep Burrow on his feet for an extra half second to a second, he's gonna I could see Burrow throwing for 4,000 yards.
But your entire argument is based on this one word, if.
Yeah.
And I just can't, with the fact that they literally did nothing to improve the biggest need on their team until later in the rounds, like David said, I just don't see the situation getting any better for Joe Burrow, no matter if he has Jerry Rice as a wide receiver. If he doesn't have time to get the ball out, it doesn't matter who he's throwing the ball to.
Yo, I just want to put out there that their starting right guard's name is Michael Jordan.
Great pedigree. Great pedigree.
Well, they better hope that he's better at football than he is at baseball, because otherwise,
you hope so.
Yeah,
you hope so. So
man is 6'6" and 315. He's got the height down too.
So what do you think is more likely, them to regress or take a half step forward?
Definitely take a step forward.
Oh, I say regress.
That's what I'm like.
I think it's more likely they regress.
Well, it depends on when they're getting Burrow back. Like, if he's starting week 1, he can single-handedly win you a couple games.
He's back. They're just not playing him in the preseason.
Which is fair.
He's healed.
But, even if they have garbage, behind for the offensive line, he's going to make quite a few plays that you're not going to see coming. And I think a lot of teams are going to look at the Bengals, and it's the same shit storm of a team. And I think a couple teams are going to gloss over them, and I think they're going to surprise a couple teams. Will they win 10 games? Fuck no. They'll win probably 6 or 7. I think that's the max, the ceiling for what the Bengals can do this year.
7. I haven't even looked at their schedule.
7's an almost unreachable ceiling for that team. But I mean, could they do it if they got a couple fluky wins? Sure. But we're also talking and assuming that Joe Burrow comes back at 100%, the Joe Burrow that he was before, after suffering probably the worst knee injury you could possibly suffer. And that same injury happened to Carson Wentz in 2017, and he has at best gotten back to maybe his 2016 form. He's never gotten back to that MVP level. So we are assuming a lot about this team. It's a lot of ifs, and if I'm a betting man, I'm just not taking a bet on these ifs. So
I see a lot of winnable games in their schedule. They get Jacksonville at home.
Schedule, right? So,
they do get Jacksonville at home. They get Detroit
at home
in Detroit. They face the Jets in New York. I don't think they're winning a single game in the division.
Well, do you want to go through it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Are we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So week 1 to open is at home against Minnesota.
Loss.
I
Really?
I'm not high in Minnesota, so I can see it a split, but I can give it to Minnesota.
At Chicago, you're still probably looking at Dalton. You're probably still looking at Dalton. Quarterback.
I still think it's a loss. That defense is still very good.
Okay, at Pittsburgh.
Loss.
Jacksonville at home.
Win.
I'll give them the win there. I think they can pull that one out.
Green Bay at home.
Loss.
Win.
What?
The Bengals do play the Packers very well, weirdly enough. At Detroit.
Maybe a win.
I'll say loss. I say
I'd give that a win.
I actually think Detroit's going to be better this year than other people think.
No,
like,
I don't think so.
I think
they take a big step back because Jared Goff is not as good as Matthew Stafford.
I think that team kind of has one of those like Joe Judge kind of years where like even though he seems like a total like weirdo, the team kind of rallies around him and gets a few more wins than they probably deserve.
Man, so, maybe they won't win 6 games. They might not even win 4 games. This schedule is not great. At Baltimore.
Loss.
At New York. Jets
or Giants?
Okay. Either way, I think they could win.
Yeah, they could probably win.
At home against Cleveland.
Loss. Probably.
Off a bye at Vegas. That's a winnable game.
It's winnable, but I don't think they win it. Loss.
I don't think the Raiders are going to be anything this year.
As if they ever are.
True. That's why I'm calling that a win.
Okay.
Pittsburgh at home.
Loss.
Chargers
they won't win a division game.
No, they won't win a division game. Chargers at home.
Loss.
Chargers at home?
Yeah, Chargers at home.
Yeah.
Loss.
San Francisco at home.
Maybe a win because at that point it's what, November?
Depends on if Trey Lance is
December 12th.
It's mid-December. It's probably gonna be fucking cold. The Cali boys aren't gonna like it. I could see them winning.
Okay, 5. So at Denver.
Win.
6. And then I'm not even going to ask you guys. These are going to be 3 losses. Baltimore, Kansas City, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a bet. Like for
4 straight weeks, 4 straight wins against those teams. Yeah.
Oh my God. Even taking San Francisco too. Make it the 5th. Give it the 5th too.
Jeez.
To go on a 5-game winning streak to end the season. Multiple things wrong with that theory. One, they're not going to win that many games leading up to it. So at some point, they're going to be tanking.
You can't tank when you're the Bengals when you're that bad. You're in a natural state of tank. You'd have to get out of tanking to then come back to tanking.
They took Ohio's darling Cleveland, and they have turned into the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, first off, if we're ever going to talk about the darling city of Ohio, it was never Cincinnati to begin with.
The darling.
No, it's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. They are the new darling of Ohio.
It's actually Akron, where the greatest basketball player of all time is from.
Oh, shut your fucking mouth.
I'm kidding. I don't believe that.
Go Zips, baby. Go Zips.
So we got 2 things for comments. Cisco says Ravens are going to win the division. He's on my side. I like it.
I have the toss-up between them and the Browns. I think it's a 1 game decides the division.
The same way as last year. And then he says Cincinnati gets the 2nd pick next year, and I'm assuming he thinks the Jets are the Jets are going to get the
Broncos.
first pick.
So I guess that's interesting. So if they do get the 2nd pick and Burrow doesn't live up, do you think about taking another quarterback?
Fuck no. Joe Burrow's your man.
Not after a full. If he stays healthy, not after a year and a half of Joe Burrow, no shot.
But you have seen how quickly teams have moved on. Like Arizona being the prime example. Like if you don't think you have the guy,
Cincinnati could be looking similar to Washington right now if they would have taken Chase Young last year. Could be. I'm saying because Chase Young improved that defense, made it easier for other people because so many people. Oh, he's saying Detroit is the first pick, by the way, guys. Detroit is the first pick.
No,
I don't think so. Like I think Detroit will be in like the 5 range.
Has Detroit ever had a number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, they have Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Wasn't Sanders the first pick?
No,
Barry Sanders I think was the first. No, I don't think a running back's ever gone number 1.
He was
Yeah.
Well, have they?
No.
Fuck.
Campbell from the Oilers. I forgot his first name. Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell went number 1, I think.
I thought there was someone before that.
Here we go. List of NFL.
So there's more than 1.
No. I'm just bringing up all the first overall picks. George Rogers and Billy Sims back in 80 and 81. Earl Campbell, 78. Ricky Bell, 77. So it looks like back in the day. OJ Simpson in 69.
He went
That's
first.
what I was thinking.
Oh,
And then a bunch of names that I don't know at all.
Honus Wagner.
Kajana Carter.
Who?
Bengals stud Kajana Carter.
Jesus.
He was a
But if you look at the
bunch of
history of the
injuries.
draft, since the year 2000, we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
It doesn't
5,
happen
6,
often.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 13 quarterbacks go number 1 overall.
For the record, there's only been 28 non-quarterbacks to go number 1 overall in the history of the draft. So it doesn't happen all that often.
To answer our question from earlier, Sanders was 3rd picked.
3rd? Okay.
Right.
No. That wasn't that Deion Sanders, and then
No, I'm pretty
Deion
sure he's
Sanders
starting
went 3.
That's
Well,
prime time.
Prime time. Okay. Anything else on the shit ass Bengals?
What is the brightest point outside of Joe Burrow on this team?
Jesse Bates.
Jamar Chase making a really great catch in the end zone.
Jesse Bates.
I think Jesse Bates, yes. They got Trey Hendrickson, too. Your white boy.
Ooh. It's not terrible.
Don't they
That's
still
not
have
bad.
some first rounders on that offensive line? Jonah Williams, I think, is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we don't know who the fuck their name is, clearly they ain't doing nothing.
Jonah Williams, Quentin Spain, Troy Hopkins, Michael Jordan, and Riley Reef.
Riley Reef's the other one. Riley Reef wasn't terrible, was he?
I don't know, but
No.
Reef, not Reed. My bad.
So Cisco says their best part of their team is their stadium lights.
Well, it's not their. As I have learned, it's not their facilities because they don't have an indoor practice facility.
Correct.
I mean, honestly, I think it's their uniforms. I always liked the Bengals uniforms.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that they don't have a playoff win since the year 2000?
Yeah.
They've had a lot of good squads.
Yeah, there
over
were
the
some
years.
good teams.
Yeah,
under Marvin Lewis.
Cedric Benson,
couldn't get it done.
AJ Green, Andy
Ocho Cinco,
yeah,
Tyler
Dan
Eifert.
Carson Palmer,
TJ Hushmanzada.
Oh,
TJ
yeah.
Houshmandzadeh. I forgot about
Whoosh.
Who's your mama? All right,
What's
the
their
Bengals
name?
suck.
All right, we're done.
Bengals suck. Bengals
The Bengals suck. Let's move on.
it.
All right. Tyler, I'm giving the floor to you. Go ahead.
All right. Does the dog pound take the crown? For those of you who do not know, the Cleveland Browns nickname is or the nickname of the stadium and their fan base is the dog pound. I am making an argument that the Cleveland Browns will be first in the division this year. I got them with about 12, 13 wins. I kind of was debating back and forth between the Browns and the Ravens. I think these are the two best teams in the division. And I think it could be like a 1-game difference between the two because of who takes that division. I think the Browns have the best overall roster in the division. They may not have the best quarterback right now, but I think Baker Mayfield can take another step forward to maybe win some games just strictly because of him and not because of the team around him. I hope Baker can take that step forward, and I do think he will because obviously I'm picking the Browns. But they also did a lot in the offseason. They really upgraded their secondary. They still got a lot of weapons on offense, and they probably have the best offensive line in the division. Like, and offensive line wins you games. Like I don't know if the Ravens defense or offensive line is that much better than theirs, but honestly, the Browns have the most complete team in the division. I'm going and putting my money on the most complete team in the division winning. So I got the Browns at like 13-4, and plus they're playing a third place schedule. So I don't see how it's a lose-lose to bet the Browns to win the division. So what do you guys think?
Oh, you're done?
Well, I mean,
okay. I just want to make sure. I just want to know. I just want to make sure you're done. So
try to keep it short. So this. It's Kevin Spacey from Superman Returns.
So outside of Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, who's their best player on defense?
Didn't they just get Joe Johnson from the Rams?
John Johnson, but yeah.
John Johnson.
Johnny.
I see a lot of holes at linebacker, especially.
They got Clowney. They got McKinley. They got
No,
first.
I hate the Clowney argument.
Bingo. Thank you.
I fucking
He is
hate the
dog
Clowney.
shit.
He is. Why is he bounced from team to team to team? He ain't shit.
Because he's not the definitive like sack the quarterback pass rusher, but he's still a pretty great.
Which is what he's been hyped up to be his entire fucking career.
He got that pick in the draft because of one play that he played against Michigan.
Yeah, that was really hurtful for my Michigan team. But yeah, that's really the only reason. He didn't do shit the next year. He sat out for the most part.
Yeah, and then he didn't do a whole lot he played well in Houston because he was lined up with J.J. Watt.
And Vince Wilfork at
one point. They had a really good secondary, and Jadeveon Clowney is not an argument. I don't like that argument.
Okay,
I hate it.
Well, I have other arguments. They have more young pieces in their secondary that I really liked coming out of the draft. They drafted Greg Newsome. They have Greedy Williams from last year, who I still think could be a pretty good cornerback in this league. They also have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah as a linebacker, who I actually wanted for the Eagles if they
Can you say that 5 times fast? Can you say that 5 times
one time fast?
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
All right, that was actually pretty impressive.
All right.
I just want to point something out real quick.
Jeremiah. We'll make a TikTok together for the.
Wait, where the fuck did he go? Oh no, never mind.
Tag him in the comments.
I'm on the wrong team. Fuck. Where the hell did my team go? I saw something that I really wanted to point out, but I lost my damn sight. So I was looking at the depth chart of them. Their third cornerback is named AJ Green.
I did see that. Yeah,
that is. I was confused. Awesome. They lost AJ Green and got another AJ Green.
They also got Grant Delpit at safety from LSU.
So they do have a lot of young players, but I mean, other than Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and John Johnson, so they have 3 pieces on the defense. Their linebacking core is not great, and we've seen what happens when you have a bad linebacking core in the past.
But you don't need a good linebacking core in this modern NFL. The Eagles have shown that. You need good corners and you need a good pass rush.
The Packers have had Blake Martinez, who I personally love.
He led the league in tackles one year.
Right? Like multiple years, actually.
Was it multiple years?
I think back-to-back years, and then he led it for the Giants last year.
Yeah, and that defense has consistently lost the Packers games over the past 5-10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
So I do think that the Browns will be a good team towards the end of, like a really good team towards the end of the season. Now we're talking about a very competitive division with the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns, and the shit stain at the bottom. But you have a good offense. You have a really good offensive line. But you're relying on Odell Beckham, who has been in and out of the lineup since he's been there. And then your number one is then Jarvis Landry at wide receiver, which isn't a bad number one, but it would have been a great number one like 4 years ago.
They also have youth within the wide receivers. They got Donovan Peoples-Jones, who did have some shiny moments last year. He could take a step forward. So if Odell Beckham Jr. does have another injury, which let's be honest, he has shown to be kind of injury prone. Mm-hmm. Like there are players who could step into that role and catch balls from Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield throws a nice ball. Like
how high are you on Baker Mayfield? That answers my question. I rest my case.
Hold on. How do you want me to like based on like where he ranks among quarterbacks?
Yeah. In the division, he's the 3rd best quarterback in the division.
No. He's the 2nd.
I swear to God, if you're going to tell me that Ben Roethlisberger is the best quarterback in this fucking division, I'm going to come over there and slap you.
Big Ben isn't going to lose the Steelers games. Baker will.
This year he will. He will.
No, he won't. I'll get to it. No, he won't. No, he won't. Won't matter.
Half of his offensive line is gone.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait. Doesn't matter.
Having a bad offensive line is not going to matter for somebody that I can run faster than. Okay.
Barry Sanders doesn't matter. He had the worst offensive line in NFL history and is a legend. Don't care.
Ben Roethlisberger
we'll get it.
Is Ben Roethlisberger Barry Sanders?
Sexually assaulting women.
We'll get to it. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it.
We are not, Tyler. We are not going into that.
Just wait.
It's there.
I mean, it is. But all right, let's start making some points and let's start talking about this.
Start making some points, Tyler. I ain't got no fucking points out of you.
So let's see what this schedule is going to shake us out into.
Other wide receivers, Rashad Higgins. They still have.
Pass.
Okay. Donovan Peoples-Jones, and they have Ryan Switzer, who, can still catch some balls.
To the face.
I think it's better than you guys.
Ryan Switzer.
Once again, I'm not asking Ryan Switzer to be my best target. I'm asking him to catch a few balls every once in a while, and Ryan Switzer.
But you're trying to convince us that the Browns, who are bad for how many years, and Baker Mayfield to be a very, very good quarterback. He would have to be a top 10 quarterback in the league for them
Baker
to
Mayfield
lead this
has
to the
everything
division.
around him for him to be a good top 10 quarterback.
That doesn't mean he's going to do it.
Sure.
He's had Chubb and Hunt for the last year and a half now.
Cisco takes Uncle Rico before he takes Baker.
Uncle Rico before man,
he can throw it over them there mountains.
You want me to see it do it again?
I don't see it happening. I honestly don't see it happening. Plus, they have an offensive line that gets hurt very frequently. I just don't see it happening. I think Baker's going to get a rude awakening from this division because you have two really good defenses in this division. You have the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the defense of the Baltimore Ravens,
who I think they could split.
They could.
They could also lose.
I think they will.
They could lose 3 of the 4.
Yeah, they could easily lose 3 of the 4. This is going to be a very competitive division.
Here, I wrote it down. I'm kind of curious if I have them splitting.
Probably not, because you're pulling for them.
WW.
dot.
I have them splitting the Ravens and winning both games against the Steelers.
They could also go 1-3 or 0-4.
Sure, we can talk hypotheticals all day, but
we can. At least they'll go 2-6. All right, let's look at the schedule and see where we think
they're the second best team.
Shut your mouth. We ain't doing this shit right now.
I think Ravens are worse than. I think the
fuck
Ravens
off.
Are worse.
I don't get where you are getting all of this like negative Ravens talk. Like is it really just because you don't think Lamar Jackson can go any higher as a quarterback?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
He's also the same age as Baker Mayfield. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, who's an actual quarterback in the NFL? Baker Mayfield is.
Who has an MVP?
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
What does that matter? Julian Edelman should have had a Super Bowl MVP. Does that make him fucking good? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. James White should also have a Super Bowl MVP.
So should Adam Vinatieri and
Adam Vinatieri should, yes.
Adam Vinatieri 100% should. Shall we move to the schedule, boys?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We lead at Kansas City.
Loss.
Do we think the Kansas City Chiefs are going undefeated? Because I feel like every time we bring up the Chiefs, it's an L.
No, they'll fall 2 or 3 times between games 10 and 17.
They'll lose to the Chargers once. They'll
probably maybe the Raiders
drop one to the Raiders.
Yeah, because the Raiders always play them really well. Week 2 at home against Houston.
Win.
At home against Chicago.
Win.
On the road at Minnesota.
Win.
On the road against the Chargers.
Loss.
Thank you. I swear to God, I was going to have to fight one of you for that one.
No.
At home against Arizona.
Win.
Loss.
I love Arizona so much.
I understand why you're saying win, Tyler, because it's your team that you're rooting, you're picking, but that's a loss. Arizona is going to come out of the gates hot.
Arizona's going to fire their coach after this year. I don't know where you think
they have a chance of winning the division.
No, they do not. Arizona is the one team that I can guarantee will not win the NFC.
My gut feeling says Cleveland, but I feel like I see I think that they're going to be the favorite and Arizona upsets it.
Pull another Hail Murray or whatever.
Sure.
Denver.
I got it as a win.
Loss.
Denver at home.
Win.
I was going to say, what are you smoking? Give me some.
Denver loss. Denver loses.
At home against Pittsburgh.
Win, baby.
Win. At home.
Yep. At Cincinnati. Win. At New England.
Win.
Versus Detroit.
Win.
At Baltimore.
Loss.
Thank you. And then they have a bye week, and then they face Baltimore again at home.
Win. They split Baltimore.
No, because they don't sweep Pittsburgh. No.
Oh, they definitely sweep Pittsburgh.
They're not sweeping. They are definitely not sweeping Baltimore. I know. I'm very happy we agree on that.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't think they sweep either. So.
No.
I don't see them sweeping either. So.
At home against Vegas.
Win.
10. 9, 10. At Green Bay.
Loss.
At Pittsburgh.
Win.
Loss.
I'm taking that a loss. You're not sweeping that team. And to finish it out, they get a win against Cincinnati. You got 11 wins.
I have them at 13 wins.
That's 11 wins, which is exactly where I would have put them.
I got them at 13 wins because they are going to sweep the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That'd be 12.
T-Bone, what do you see as the biggest weakness for this Browns team?
What's the other one that I had as a win that you guys
did? What's the other one?
You had Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
T-Bone, what do you see as the biggest weakness for this Browns team?
Baker Mayfield.
Okay, I know it's probably going to be the same answer. Tyler, what's the biggest strength of the Cleveland Browns?
Their running game.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think Baker Mayfield has the light.
Baker Mayfield, like what the hell, Davis?
Like, come on.
I wanted to hear it because I wanted to laugh at you. That's why I wanted.
I like the Browns, but I'm realistic about the Browns. I know Baker is not the best part of that team.
The biggest strength on this team is going to be, in my opinion, Myles Garrett, because he's going to disrupt offenses enough where these young cornerbacks don't have to cover all day because Myles Garrett is going to go through a lot of people. But their biggest weakness is also going to be the youth of those cornerbacks. They're going to give up the short passes. Yeah, you have Denzel Ward, who's a phenomenal talent, but behind him, you have a very young cornerbacking core. I think it's going to be tough for them, and I think they're going to give up a lot of points.
In the camp, by the way, who have looked good in camp.
Yeah, so did your dream team Eagles. You guys look great in camp.
We are not talking about the fucking Eagles. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm just saying, in camp means
you can't wait for the NFC East. I swear to God, that's going to be our next episode.
I can't wait. This is going to be so
God,
good.
T-Bone, why don't you get past a freaking championship game before you start talking shit about the Eagles?
2010. What do you mean? What do you mean 2010?
10 fucking years ago.
11 years ago.
11 years ago now, but Jesus.
11.
Hey, T-Bone, did you like that picture I posted today?
Which one?
Playoff wins since the year 2000. The Eagles and the Packers have the same amount of playoff wins and Super Bowl rings since the year 2000.
Suck on that, baby.
What is that? So what? What does that matter? At least I'm not a poverty franchise. At least I'm not a poverty franchise wanting to be a high level. Yeah. You guys are a poverty franchise disguised as a high level or running organization.
All right, we ain't doing this. No, we can't do this. Tyler, no. That
would be so much fun to tell when I tell you guys the Cowboys are gonna like
shit the bed and have Washington win the division. Got it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Could happen.
Any last words about the Browns?
Dog pound for life, baby.
Third place is gonna look nice on you guys.
Moving
on.
Look great.
Now we're going on to the team that I believe is going to win the division. They took second place in the division last year. They're coming off of 2 years removed from Lamar Jackson winning the MVP. Granted, he has been regarded as a glorified running back / quarterback, whatever you want to call him. He's a running back who can kind of throw the ball. I think he's a lot better than that. I also think they improved a lot of question marks that they had in the offseason, either in the draft or in free agency. Adding Rashad Bateman, I think, is going to be a very underrated pickup through the draft.
For reference, he's hurt.
He is currently hurt. All three of their starting wide receivers are currently hurt, with Sammy Watkins, Rashad Bateman, and Marquise Brown. By the end of the year, Marquise Brown will not be the number one guy. He's going to be their slot receiver.
He's not the number one now.
Well, as it stands right now, probably not. They also have Devin Duvernay, who I think is going to take a decent step forward at he's currently their 4th ranked wide receiver. I think this wide receiving core is going to shuffle a lot throughout the season, but their big offensive weapon is still there, Mark Andrews, and that's Lamar Jackson's best friend. Mark Ingram has left the team, but Mark Ingram left it to a good replacement, and the backup is still pretty good. They have J.K. Dobbins and then Gus Edwards sitting behind him. They also have a very strong offensive line. They got Kevin Zeitler from, I want to say, the Giants.
Yeah.
Hurt.
And then they also took... Oh,
no, maybe the Browns.
Browns. He went.
Yeah, you're right.
Or Bengals?
And then
Bengals?
No, it was
no. He hasn't played for the Bengals in like 5 years.
It was
and they also
first.
took the starting right tackle from the Pittsburgh Steelers and Alejandro Villanueva. They still have Ronnie Stanley. Yeah, they still have Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. And then they have 2 younger players at Ben Powers and Bradley Bozeman.
Also hurt.
So they have a lot of injuries, but it's still 3 weeks away. I don't think any of these are very like monumental injuries. I think they're just like more rest and stuff like that. But the strength of this team is by far their defense. They have starting with they're starting two starting corners.
Their secondary.
Their secondary is damn near impossible to throw.
Not
on.
their front 7.
Well, they still have solid players up front too.
Keep going.
Marcus Peters is your number 1 guy, followed by Marlon Humphrey. Jimmy Smith is still playing at a very high level. So you have 3 really good cornerbacks. It's going to be very hard to throw on this team. Derek Wolfe is a little bit past his prime. You have Calais Campbell, who is way past his prime, but he was Defensive Player of the Year, 3 years ago?
Something like that.
3 years ago. They still have Patrick Queen, who I think is going to take another big step forward this year. LSU linebacker.
Yep.
And Parnell McPhee, who's a little older, and then they still have Tyus Bowser, who I think is going to take a possible step back. And then the big signing that everybody thinks is a big signing is Justin Houston. He is quite past his prime, but he is going to be able to contribute to this defense as well. There are so many pieces. Maybe they're not like a studs on the front 7, but they still have pieces in the front 7 that can make an impact. I went top to bottom with this team, and I don't see a lot of glaring holes. The linebacking core might be the biggest hole, but people will also say that Lamar Jackson is their strength and weakness. You have all of these weapons at wide receiver. Well, I would say average to below or above. I don't think any of them are like amazing receivers or amazing tight ends. I also wouldn't say any of them are god-awful receivers or god-awful tight ends. So I think this is going to be a run-heavy offense with Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins running a lot. I see them winning between 12 and 13 games this season. What do you guys think?
I hate
you're right up there with the 12, right behind the 13-win Cleveland Browns, baby.
We agreed on 11, but all right,
we hit 11, so it's true.
I actually have the because I went through the whole thing and I actually went through the records. I have the Ravens at 11-6. So yeah. I mean, you're right, Davis. The strength and weakness of the Baltimore Ravens is Lamar Jackson. But where I think you have some benefit is that Lamar Jackson doesn't really ever seem to fall apart until the playoffs, where they're actually facing a team that can go through their defense, put points up on the board, and force Lamar Jackson to kind of take over the game as opposed to manage it. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens if they can finally get over that hump. That's honestly going to be the real story with the Ravens, not whether they can make the playoffs, but if they can finally take that hump and get farther in the playoffs and maybe even compete for a Super Bowl. The thing that sort of turned me off with the Ravens and why I think they're not winning as opposed to the Browns is the fact that they are playing a second place schedule. The last part of their schedule is brutal. So even if they start out really strong, I think that last bit of their schedule is really tough. I think I got 4 of their 6 losses coming in the end of the year. Sorry, 3 of the 6.
Well, they
4 of the 6 after the bye.
They don't see Pittsburgh or Cleveland until week 12.
Yep.
And then they get that's 4 of their games are division game. 5 of their last 6 games. Oh, that's not right. 5 of their last 7 games are division opponents. They get Cleveland twice, Pittsburgh twice, and Cincinnati in week 16.
Yeah.
They don't play a divisional game until week 7.
Yeah. And that's rough. Division games are always harder.
Especially this division. Specifically this division.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
they have legitimate bad blood. They hate each other.
They also get the Packers and the Rams at the end of the season too.
There's three divisions in the NFL that are just gonna beat the shit out of each other this year, and they've done it in the past. The NFC West, the NFC East, and the AFC North.
Well, it's because the NFC East, they all fucking suck, so they have nothing else to do except shit on each other.
Why did I even
to be fair, the NFC East is a pillow fight compared to it's a pretty aggressive pillow fight.
I'll say the NFC East is it's a competitive league, but it's competitive league for the AAYFL. It's like that.
You're just making shit up now. What the fuck is that?
the former youth football league that we used to play under in middle school.
That's right. I knew that sounded familiar. We used to have those patches on our.
Yeah, our jersey is this, and the patch is like this fucking big, just like.
Yep. You ever miss those shoulder pads that were like 3 times the size of your face?
No, because I was like 6'1" when I was like 13 years old, so shit was always fit me just fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why are the Browns better than the Baltimore Ravens?
I don't even. As I said before, I was kind of debating between the two, and I really think the Browns just have the advantage because they're playing a third place schedule.
Okay,
like it comes down to that. I just think the Ravens, they'll do good, they'll make the playoffs, but will Lamar Jackson finally take that step and actually become the quarterback or the running quarterback they want to be? Because he's much more closer to. What's a good comparison? Like a Colin Kaepernick than a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that really worked out for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's closer to where like he's more of a weapon on his legs than with his arm, whereas Russell Wilson
the same
is
thing with
equally
Michael
dangerous.
Vick. No, Vic could throw the ball a lot better than either of them ever could.
Oh, yeah. Vic can throw the ball 100 yards.
I think Colin Kaepernick could throw the ball, but towards the end of when he started doing all of his social justice stuff, I think he stopped paying attention to football, and that's why he took a dip, and that's another big reason why nobody's touching him.
Well,
I'm not going to get into a Colin Kaepernick rant, though, because that might last.
He took a dip long before the social justice stuff. Like
about 2 years before. So, actually, I looked it up because it was one of my points against Lamar Jackson, that he's going into his 4th year.
Yeah.
NFL defensive coordinators aren't stupid. They figured out the Wildcat in Miami. They figured out Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick had 3 successful seasons before he decided to drop ass and start sucking in the beginning
of. He just woke up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm going to drop some ass today.
And then he never comes back.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is, Lamar Jackson, great. He took a step back last year in the sense of because he didn't get better. Like, he's been even for the last 3 years. Sorry. His rookie year, whatever. Took a step forward, won the MVP. Last year, I don't think he got better. I would say he stayed the same, right? He's a phenomenal athlete, run the ball, yada, yada, yada. He didn't, take a step forward seemingly. I don't know. Is there? Can you hear me? Is that better? I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
It just sounded like you were really airy for a minute there.
I don't know.
Oh, I think he's just an idiot, and his points don't make any sense coming out of
that. No, his points definitely made sense. I was just making sure.
Right. So my point is that Lamar Jackson didn't get better last year. He stayed the same. Net positive, whatever. I'm not saying he got worse. But he's going into his 4th year. We've seen quarterbacks with his similar skill set get figured out by their 4th year. So do we think Lamar Jackson is more likely to become a better passer this year or not get any better?
So I just brought up the numbers. Last season, he was 22nd in passing yards, tied for 12th in touchdown passes, and he only had 9 interceptions last year, but he doesn't throw the ball that much. And he had a 73.7, which is 7th among QBR. Now, does he need to be a world beater passing the ball? Not really.
In the playoffs, he does, though.
Agreed.
That's his issue.
He doesn't even have the threat. At least Vic, where you knew, or Kaepernick, even Kaepernick had a decent arm. You knew his strength was his legs. But with both of them, it's Vic could still chuck the ball 65, 70 yards on a dime.
There will never be another Michael Vick again. He was one of those.
He was the peak running quarterback with a massive fucking arm.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Lamar Jackson is closer to taking a step backwards and not progressing as a quarterback than he is becoming an average passer. If he becomes an average passer, great. But I don't even think even if he becomes that, he doesn't have the receiving core to become an average passer because I think they suck, except Bateman. I like Bateman.
Yeah, okay. I don't think they've done enough to build up his wide receiver core since he's been there.
Because you can because you can say Mark Andrews is his best target, but how often Travis Kelce had such a good year last year. Travis Kelce's talented. This is not what I'm saying. But it's not Travis Kelce isn't an all-world athlete better than everyone else at his position, he has the best fucking quarterback in the NFL. And Tyreek Hill, and a good running game.
False.
Like, what?
His route running is damn near top five.
I'm not trying to make a knock on Travis Kelce.
No, I'm not saying you are, but he did play well and play above average, like elite level.
He had a record-setting year, yes. But
no, I'm saying before Patrick Mahomes, even when Alex Smith was quarterbacking.
But Alex Smith wasn't a scrub
he was a game manager.
Travis Kelce has always had pretty good quarterbacking throwing him the ball.
Like when Alex Smith went to Kansas City, people were like, "Oh, Andy Reid will have a quarterback that's actually not dog shit." Like, is he good? Yeah, he's good. Is he bad? No, he's not bad. He's not going to lose the game.
Wait a minute. Are you calling Donovan McNabb dog shit?
I knew damn well that was going to trigger one of us.
No. Hold on. Did Andy Reid go straight from McNabb to Alex Smith?
No, he went from McNabb to Vic to
old Vic, not our good Vic that we're just coming ourselves from.
He was one pass away from beating the Packers in the NFC Championship. So
okay,
I don't know.
But I'm saying it wasn't a transition from McNabb to Alex Smith. There was some shit in between. It was like, if Andy Reid just has a quarterback who can manage the fucking game, he's going to be great. And that's why the Chiefs made the playoffs or won a playoff game with Smith before they drafted Mahomes.
I think they made 1-2.
1 or 2, right?
And then they lost to New England, I think.
They were a good-ass team when they drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Travis Kelce was drafted in 2014.
Okay.
His yardage was 862, 875, 1125, 1038, and then Mahomes comes in 1336, 1229, and 1416.
Okay, my point is he's a good like I said, this wasn't a knock on Kelce. But my point is, Mark Andrews is not Travis Kelce.
No one was saying that.
No one here is saying that.
No, but I'm saying if you're going to look at me and tell me Mark Andrews is the best pass catcher for the Ravens,
who's saying that?
My point is the point is
pass catcher on the Ravens
is probably Mark Andrews, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If he's the best pass catcher,
who the fuck are you going to try and tell me is better than Mark Andrews?
Hollywood Brown?
No, he's not. He's hurt, and they don't.
Not only
Hollywood
hurt,
Brown
he is not that good.
They don't throw me the fucking ball.
Yep.
I have him. My point is if he's your best pass catcher, he's not George Kittle or Travis Kelce. He's not some all-world athlete that is out of this world. He's not one of those guys.
You hit that elite tier, and then there's the next tier where you get Everett, Mark Andrews.
You just said Gerald Everett?
Gerald Everett's been pretty good last year.
No,
do you know how last year?
You didn't start with Darren Waller.
Darren Waller's in the elite.
I wasn't done.
I don't know. I think he's 1.5.
He's in that. Darren Waller is in that cusp. He's in that second tier.
I don't know.
It's Darren Waller, Gerald Everett, and Mark Andrews, and then you have to go all the way down.
I think Waller like the bottom of tier 1.
Yes, top tier 2.
Waller rounded out he started slow, but ended up turning into a stud tight end at the end of the year. I'll agree with that. Excuse me. I want to see a consistent full year out of him. Now, back to the point of Lamar Jackson, because apparently that's the only thing that is a topic on this team.
It is.
I can keep going. Their run game isn't as good as it was last year.
Yeah. You put a lot of stock into their run game.
I personally like J.K. Dobbins. I have him in a couple dynasty leagues. I like him, but I think he was so effective is because they had Mark Ingram was hurt, but they had that they had the 1-2 punch. He's not good. He's not good.
I'd rather have Mark Ingram over Gus Edwards.
Yeah, but he was getting older and his legs weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
Right, and they didn't replace him. They just said, "Oh yeah, we'll keep this other guy that's been the third string." And now, I think J.K. Dobbins could be the Chris Johnson to Lendell White back with the Titans, the 1-2 punch. But J.K. Dobbins needs the physical runner to thrive like that. And I think he's a good running back, but I don't think he's as good as. I think their running game takes a step back than last year.
So what you're saying is they have 2 finesse running backs and no bell cow.
Yes, bingo. unless you're counting Patrick Ricard and Ben Mason as your bell cow fullbacks.
You
got to
love
high
some
school with
Patrick
those guys
Ricard.
because I don't know who they are.
You don't know who
Pat-
Patrick Ricard is?
He's probably the best fullback in football behind.
Use check.
I actually
Kyle
laughed.
Juice.
I didn't know the Bengal or the Browns still carried fullbacks either. I just
I don't think the
that's still
Browns
so
do
funny.
carry fullbacks.
They
They might
do.
carry them, but they don't use them. They
Uh,
use Ricard because they run so much. There's two teams, maybe three teams in the league that use their fullbacks frequently. It used to be the Packers. It is the San Francisco 49ers. Cool.
Andy Janovich is the fullback for the.
Oh, is he?
the Browns.
That's
Yeah.
not a bad fullback.
It's actually not bad. But you have
All
the
right.
Ravens, you have the
there's only
Niners,
four
the
of them in
Pats, the Steelers. Like,
Yeah. We got to power through this schedule because we got to give T-Bone enough time for his team.
Holy shit, we're already
all right.
50 minutes.
yeah,
Let's cruise through this. You guys ready? At Vegas. I'm giving that a win.
win.
Kansas City. I think it's
You
going to be
think
a
it's
close
out?
game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but still a loss.
Loss.
At Detroit.
Win.
At Denver.
Win.
Versus Indy.
Loss.
Without, depending on who's their quarterback at this point.
I still say it's a loss, no matter who it is.
Healthy Indy win, not a healthy Indy loss.
I don't think they're going to be
think-
healthy.
I don't care
so
about-
I
the
gave them a
quarterback.
win here.
I think it's the defense. If their defense is healthy, it's a win.
For who?
Indy.
Baltimore?
No, Indy.
For Indy?
Yeah, I think they lose to the Colts.
All right, well,
So do I.
I'm
So do I.
outnumbered here. I gave them a win, but it's got to be consensus. Versus the Chargers at home.
I think
Loss.
they beat. No, they
Loss.
beat the Chargers at home.
The Baltimore
That's
wins
fine.
at
Hey,
home.
you guys got it. You beat me, but I think they lose. I think Herbert comes out to play.
All right, here's an auto win. Cincinnati
Win.
off a bye week. Minnesota at
Loss.
home. At home.
Loss.
I think it's a win.
I think it's a win.
I think they lose to the Vikings off that bye week.
Damn, that would be a big upset.
That would be a huge upset. I got them
I
winning
like
that
it.
one.
I like it.
At Miami.
Win.
Win.
At Chicago.
Loss.
Win.
Loss.
Okay.
I got them at a win.
Yeah.
At home against Cleveland.
Okay,
Win.
hold on. This is the stretch of absolute dog shit. Like,
Yeah,
they
it's
get
bad.
ran through outside
It's
of
bad.
one game.
At home against Cleveland, I think is a win.
I think it's a win too.
At Pittsburgh, loss.
Loss.
At Cleveland, loss.
Loss.
Green Bay is going to be close. I can't
Loss.
wait for this game. I
Loss.
can't wait for that
I think
game.
it's a loss.
It's a loss.
I think it's a lot closer than you guys are just definitively
I think
saying.
no, I
loss.
think so, but it's Aaron fucking Rodgers the week before Christmas.
At Cincinnati, win.
win.
The
But I
Rams.
also think they could lose that game if they're on like a pretty bad downward stretch.
Which
Yeah.
they could be coming on. They could be 1-3 in their last 4 games going into that game.
Rams at home, I think, is a win.
Loss.
I think it's a win. I think it's a win, and then they lose against Pittsburgh.
Loss, and I say they win. They win.
I
against-
say they win against Pittsburgh.
I think they split Pittsburgh, Los Angeles. I'm not confident in which is which, but I think they split.
They're
they go
both at
1-1.
home. I think they take. I think they split the Pittsburgh series. So, and this is the one that they win, and that would sit us at 12 wins, which is exactly what I said.
I think I had them at 11. So I think because I gave them.
So their losses per us are 1 against Green Bay. Well, Green Bay, 1 against Cleveland, 1 against Pittsburgh, Indy, and then Kansas City. That's the 5 losses.
yeah, I had them losing.
Wait a
to the
second, that
Vikings.
doesn't add up. Hold on, I need another loss.
So
What was
I
the
went
other
11
loss?
and
I think we
went
split
11
on
and
one.
Yeah,
What was
I
the
went
other
11
loss?
and 6. I had their 6 losses as the Chiefs, the Colts, the Vikings, the Steelers, Browns, Packers, and Rams.
Oh no, I said 12. No. We had 12. We're right.
Yeah.
you said 12.
You disagreed with me on the Vikings. So,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
So
All right. Hold on. Let me give you a nice banner here. T-Bone, take the floor.
Not important. Defense. Their defense is obviously their strong suit. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a fluky, absolute bombardment of blowing themselves up last year. They were 11-0, and then lost 4 of their last 5, something like that.
is this rhetorical, or you want to?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Everyone knows that they were really good, the best in the NFL, and then they just decided to shit the bed. Their weakness is their offensive line. That's fine. They have the best defense in the division by far. Their secondary, Joe Hayden, Edmonds, Fitzpatrick, the best safety in the game. Minka Fitzpatrick
Is this working? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, he's funny. He's funny.
Can you guys hear? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can. What do you...
Oh, okay. All right. I wanted to make sure my head. I lost audio in my headphones for a minute there.
Right,
I lost audio for a second. Do you want to back up a little bit?
Yeah. Let me backtrack and repeat because I'm not going to backtrack. I'm rewinding.
Okay.
The Steelers are the best defense in the division by far.
Hold on.
It's not close.
These things suck. I need new headphones, man. It sounded like you said Pittsburgh's by a mile the best defense in this division.
I want the Browns defense over Cleveland. Over the Steelers
Time out.
Whoa,
in
that's
division,
blasphemous.
In the division, who's the best pass rusher?
Myles Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
TJ Watt literally challenged Aaron Donald for the defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett hasn't come close to sniffing it.
Myles Garrett almost killed a man.
He literally almost killed the
That's not a man. That's a fucking alien looking dude. He's not a man.
Tried to kill the backup quarterback of the team you are discussing.
Fine. Who's the second best on the team? Cam Hayward. They have the best pass rush, 1-2 punch.
How old is he?
Because we already agreed Jadeveon Clowney ain't shit, so it's not Garrett and Clowney. It's no one on
Cameron
the Bengals.
Hayward's 32. You're talking about a 32-year-old man. He's got maybe
all we talked about was 35-plus-year-old defensive players on the Ravens. So what?
Okay.
No, we were only talking about their front
corners. Like, let's be real.
Joe Hayden and Cameron.
Joe Hayden's so far past his prime. Don't even give me that.
Joe Hayden ain't worth it, and you lost Steven Nelson to us, by the way. So thank you.
Here's the point. Okay, I'm not saying Joe Hayden's this all-star fucking player, but
not even close.
He's a good.
All right,
player.
hold on. Let him talk.
Bad. He's not bad. The best part about this defense is the pass rush and their safety. If you have the best safety, who I believe Minka Fitzpatrick is the best safety in the league.
Let him finish, Tyler.
You don't need as strong of cornerbacks when you have someone like that. When Tyrann Mathieu was like the GOAT, he patrolled the outfield. Jamal Adams back in the day before he got greedy son of a bitch.
Excuse me.
Okay. The safeties are their strong suit in the secondary. They help an average Joe Hayden, okay? That's not even the point. What happened last year when they traded for, or the last time they traded for a defensive player? They got Minka Fitzpatrick. They traded for Joe fucking Schobert. They addressed a fucking need at linebacker. They have Devin Bush, TJ Watt, and Joe Schobert at linebacker.
They run a 3-4?
They do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they have like I don't know, Melvin Ingram is the backup to Alex Highsmith, who's the Sam
I totally
linebacker.
forgot they got Melvin Ingram.
But like, I don't.
He'll start.
The Chargers, Melvin Ingram?
Yeah. They got him. I thought that was huge.
He's listed as the backup.
He's not.
It's like the Sam linebacker, so it's like the hybrid.
He's going to move between the defensive line and then in the linebacking spot. Also, I just want to say a lot of these players are pretty old.
Devin Bush.
Devin Bush is a good young player.
TJ Watt.
Another good young player.
They got two good young players.
Minka Fitzpatrick isn't that old.
Sorry, Minka. So they have three good semi-young players on that defense.
No other team we talked about doesn't have more than three.
Yeah, we do.
I agree.
Garrett and Ward.
Garrett, Ward, and then the young guys.
You can't count the rookie because we haven't seen anything yet.
You can't count a rookie yet.
No, you can't count a rookie yet.
They have a prospect for it. Yes, they have younger.
You're talking about Newsome, right?
Yeah. Newsome and Koromoa.
Yeah, those are two people that are not proven yet on the defense. They haven't played.
Yeah, hey, it could be. On the Ravens, we talked about they have no young guys. They're all fucking 35 years old.
Humphrey?
They're not all 35.
You know what you understand my point.
They're around like 28 and 32, just like the fucking Steelers. Do I need to bring that up too?
But here's the thing. Their defense, they have the best pass rush, 1-2 punch, in Hayward and Watt. They have arguably the best secondary because of Fitzpatrick and the average cornerbacks. And when I say pass rush, I meant front seven because their linebacking core is also like
we know.
Bush and Schobert is better than Queen and whoever old guy you have. I would take Devin Bush over Patrick Queen.
An old guy.
I don't even know the.
I would agree there. I'd take Devin Bush over Patrick.
So I think like you look at the front seven and the secondary, I take Steelers over any of the other three by a mile.
Okay, that's
not
great.
a mile,
You are
half
going to
mile,
stop
half
a lot
mile,
of teams,
half
but how
mile.
are you going to score?
Okay.
Oh, I know exactly what the answer to
was
that question is going to be.
It's not. Najee Harris is part of it, but
Dude,
that's not the point. James Conner didn't get the ball given to him anyway. Do you know who their offensive coordinator is?
I can find out.
It's Matt Canada. I can tell you who it is. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Stop with your fucking rhetorical bullshit.
Okay. So you don't know who Matt Canada is. I didn't really know, but I know what they finally did is got rid of that old sack of bones from last year who was ass. He was dog shit.
About?
I don't know. I think he died, honly. I think he died. He was old. He was like 80 years old.
Let's
see. Former
Dick. It was a Dick?
It was not Dick Vermeil. No.
Dick Vermeil's still alive, so.
Yeah, so is their defensive coordinator, their former defensive coordinator. He was just really old. I know who you're talking about.
They don't have a defensive coordinator, right?
Whatever. You know what? Whatever.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, he didn't run the football. The Steelers pride themselves on just beating the shit out of the football. They have Najee Harris, who's like an upgrade in the sense of like a young guy from James Conner. I mean, let's be honest, James Conner got the shit beat out of him and had cancer. So like he was bound to slow down. I love James Conner. I'm not saying he was bad. But they get a new offensive coordinator to freshen things up. They have a rookie running back who you can Ben Roethlisberger can just say, here, you take the fucking beating behind our dog shit O-line. And then their wide receiving core, when Ben has to throw the ball, is the best in the division by far. Like, you look at these teams like, boom, boom, boom. The only thing the other teams have on the Steelers is the offensive line. That's it.
That is a big point.
It's the point I need to make. Their defense.
But the problem is if the offensive line go, or the offense goes as the offensive line goes. You can have, like we discussed with the fucking Bengals. If you don't have a good offensive line, what good is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all of those weapons that they have?
It's Big Ben. Big Ben is used to taking those beatings anyway and still playing.
Fucker.
But my point,
38 now.
He's old.
The man's 39.
Yeah, Big Ben can't run away from. Can't run through a bad offensive line. It's not happening.
I don't need him to run away.
We all made the argument against the Bengals for their dog water offensive line, and now you're saying that this offense is good enough to not need an offensive line. That's fucking bullshit.
Let's also be fair that he's saying that like I can't use like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Greg Newsome, but he's putting all this weight behind Najee Harris.
I can give him credit because
no. I'm putting the weight behind the new offensive coordinator to freshen things up. I'm just saying Najee Harris is going to take a lot of the beatings off of Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not saying Najee Harris is going to lead the league in rushing. That's not what I'm saying.
Also, you said they were the best receiving core?
Yeah, by far.
No.
Are you high?
I think
Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith, Chase Claypool, and then James Washington.
No.
Who else can go 4 deep?
The Browns.
Didn't I go 4 deep?
Landry, Odell.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashad Higgins.
Hasn't even been a proven starter.
Njoku, Austin Hooper.
You were not about to drop David Njoku, the second string tight end, as a reliable pass.
He should be first. David Njoku's got.
That man was on Hard Knocks and was forced to go to the jugs machine because he sucked ass. If you're a good wide receiver, you should be able to jugs machine every day anyway.
Well, he's not a wide receiver; he's a tight end. So
he's a tight end.
Fine. If you want to do that, Eric Ebron and Patrick Fairmouth.
Who?
Who's Eric Ebron? Does that dude even exist?
That's what I'm saying. Who to?
Eric Ebron, the legend of Detroit.
I know who the fuck he is.
The legend of
Detroit. I've never met any.
Well, you can tell Detroit clearly doesn't have a lot of legends. Eric Ebron is one of their legends. Like,
honestly, all Lions fans hate Eric Ebron. It's hilarious.
That's good.
I was in Michigan when Eric Ebron went to the Colts and had like 9 or 10 touchdowns or whatever. Oh, they hated him. It was hilarious.
All right. Tyler
wanted to make the point that Cleveland was the more complete team. I disagree.
I
think it's
Baltimore
Steelers.
is the more complete team.
I think
Cleveland.
it goes Pittsburgh,
Baltimore,
Cleveland, Baltimore, and then Cincinnati.
and then Cincinnati. By going through the complete team thing, I'm doing Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati.
I'm telling you right now, I have the Steelers with a losing record. That's how much non-faith I have in the Steelers.
How's your biscuits, bud? How's your biscuits doing
5,
now?
6, 7.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the schedule.
8, 9, 10. I have them at 12.
12? Oh,
You want to go through it? Let's go through it.
One.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's wrap up.
One,
Let's wrap up. Okay, at Buffalo.
Loss.
Versus Las Vegas.
Win.
Cincinnati.
Win.
At Green Bay.
Loss.
Versus Denver.
Win.
Versus Seattle.
Did you just gloss over that fast that Green Bay game?
Yeah, I think they lose to Green Bay. At Green Bay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, versus Denver would be their third win.
Yeah.
Versus Seattle, win.
I'll give them the win there. I'll even
only because they're at home. That's why.
Yeah.
That's going to be a classic good
It's gonna be a good
offense
game.
against good defense, and then bad defense against bad offense.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll say they beat the Seahawks.
Yep. So they're at 4. At Cleveland.
Loss.
Yep. Versus Chicago.
Win.
Versus Detroit.
Win.
At LA.
Loss.
I think it's lost, but I could see it split. But I think they lose.
Davis.
At Cincinnati.
Well, hold on, Davis didn't.
Oh, yeah,
pick.
Wait, did you guys split?
No, I
Yeah,
said probably a loss for LA, but I could see it winning. So
I said
what do you
it was
think?
a loss.
He thinks it's a loss. So I'll say win
because honestly I can't wait to talk about that division because I think Justin Herbert's going to be a top 3.
I can't wait. Oh, we're going to
quarterback in the
cover
league.
ourselves over Justin Herbert. I can't wait.
Oh yes, all 3 of us. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the Herbert
So LA
train.
lost. So I'm at 6. At Cincinnati.
Win.
Loss.
What?
Yeah.
Cincinnati's not winning a game in this division.
No.
How do you think they do?
You said Cincinnati won't win a division game.
No, I had them.
You had them.
Shit, hold on.
Tyler, you need me to rewind the tape?
did
You
I
want to
mess something
fucking
up?
backtrack real quick?
Hold on.
Hold on.
It
Let me
might
do
have
this.
been. It might have been Kyle. It might have been Davis who said.
Oh, I 100% said that. I'm pretty sure everybody agreed with me though. I thought we all agreed.
You said Cleveland sweeps Pittsburgh, and I said they split.
I must have said something wrong because I have it written down. Steelers losing to the Bengals.
You're
so maybe I did my math
psycho. You're a psychopath.
wrong. Okay, well,
4, 5.
if they beat the
6.
Bengals, I say they lose to the Seahawks.
At home against Baltimore.
Win.
7. Hold on. So we're saying Cincinnati a loss.
No,
I
we're
said
saying
win.
that's a win.
I
so
was
that's
saying it was
8.
a loss, but clearly I'm being overruled.
So that's
a
8.
win.
Baltimore win.
Loss. Or yeah. I'm sorry, win.
At home.
Yep. At home.
Win.
At Minnesota.
Win.
Versus Tennessee, which
Loss.
I think could be a really good game.
Loss.
At home.
Derrick Henry
Loss.
rushes for under 75 yards in that game.
Win.
And they still win. Tennessee wins that game.
Pittsburgh wins. I got
Tennessee
Pittsburgh winning that
Okay.
because the offense revolves around Derrick Henry, and if you're making Ryan Tannehill win a game, I don't think he can do it. I think Pittsburgh,
even with Julio or AJ.
All right.
Okay.
At Kansas City.
Loss. First,
That's going to be a good game,
Loss.
though. I can't wait for that game too.
At Baltimore.
Loss.
No.
They're losing their last 4.
They're losing at Baltimore. They're winning at home against Cleveland.
12 wins.
That's 12 wins. So we'd have to go to division record to see who would win the division. Because what do you got? We came up with Baltimore and Pittsburgh with 12 wins and Cleveland with 11 wins. And I don't even think we need to go through I forgot what we said for Cincy. Like 5 wins.
5, maybe
5,
6.
I think it was 5.
So pretty much we think our 3 teams split the series against the good teams and sweep the Bengals is basically where we're at. So they're all going to have the same division record.
Well, I mean, apparently, I think the Steelers are losing to the Bengals. So
Yeah, I don't know where you
Which
get
is
that
ridiculous.
it could
So
happen.
it's going to come down to division win. I think it's going to come down to division record, and then
No, if it comes down to the division, if what we said comes true, they're all the same division.
that's why you got to go to the next tiebreaker, which I think
Is overall, I thought.
No, it's conference win then. So if they're tied for overall record. It then goes to division record, and then if they have to go past that, I think it goes to conference record.
So it wouldn't matter because they'd have 12 and you guys have 11. So I win.
No, we came up with 12 wins for Baltimore.
Did we? I thought it was 11.
No, it was 100% 12 wins.
I had them at 11 when I did my thing. So
he had them at 11, but we came to a consensus of 12 wins.
Okay, well, 12 and 12. That's fine. And then we split.
All right.
So what's the third tiebreaker?
Third tiebreaker is conference record.
Which we're not going through that.
No, we're not going that deep.
No.
So I'm not even going to ask the question of who's going to win the division this year, in your guys' opinion, because we all already know the answers to that. My last question is, who's going to be the division leader in 5 years?
Ooh.
I think Baltimore.
Cleveland.
I can see it. But you're relying on them to continue drafting well and continue bringing in talent.
Which they have done.
They've done it multiple years now.
They now have the second best coach in the division. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd pick him over Harbaugh.
What the fuck did you just say?
I don't know if I'd pick him over Harbaugh. I don't know. Stefanski's good.
Tomlin's still there.
I know.
Tomlin is still there, and Harbaugh is still there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Third.
I can see Harbaugh getting booted.
Me too.
All right. I do have an announcement that I am actually going to pass to one of the boys. I will not be here Thursday, but we are still putting on a podcast. Boys, you want to tell everybody what you're going to be presenting on this podcast on Thursday?
Coming Thursday, me and the idiot who thinks the Steelers are actually going to win the division are doing our first ever Davis Sports Feud draft.
Yep.
And what are we drafting, T-Bone?
The best sports movies.
The best sports movies of all time. So how it's going to work? Me and T-Bone are each going to come with a list of movies, and we are going to draft one by one. So if I pick a sports movie, that means T-Bone can't pick it. And we'll have a conversation about those sports movies.
And I would say, and then we could present the list to Davis on the next podcast, and he can maybe he makes a determination who has the better list.
Oh,
who knows?
Yeah,
maybe I'll just make my own list. Maybe I'll make my own list.
No, because you can't draft with us. Because you can't set an offline draft. Because what happens if your 5 picks gets picked?
Yeah, that's true.
Then I have to pick 5 different movies.
Then potentially, an interview with one of my buddies who is an MLB videographer.
That's Thursday?
Maybe. I have to check his time.
All right.
But so maybe. Draft for sure. Possibly MLB videographer who's shot like 4 World Series now. Great.
So you won't see this mug on Thursday, but don't worry. We're still bringing in the Davis Sports Feud. Don't worry. Thank God. I'm surprised this camera still works. I'm surprised I haven't broken the camera by now.
True.
Me too.
But you know what, guys? This is a Davis Sports Feud. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Pods, Google Pods, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and thanks to T-Bone, TikTok.
Let's go.
I'll tell you one thing. He didn't really get his biscuits stirred today. I'm a little disappointed. Disappointed.
Nope, I stirred their biscuits today.
Yeah.
You stirred my biscuits. That's for fucking damn sure.
Damn right. And yeah, at the end of the day.
But for the Davis Sports Feud, I'm Kyle Davis. That's Tyler Wonk. I never get the. I can never fucking get.
I know.
This
I
right.
can't do it either. It's over here.
It's always
over here.
opposite.
It's opposite.
It's over here.
That's Tyler. That's
Davis.
T-Bone.
That's me.
That's me.
That's me.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy.
Later, boys.